Good morning YouTube, it's Sunday the 6th of July and we are heading out on a 15k long run, first long run of this ultra marathon block, end of week 1. So we're going to go to a place called Cannock Chase, which is around about an hour away. Jumping in with 2 friends, getting a lift. They're also running the ultra, so some training partners, but brought the camera along obviously to document all of this as opposed to me sitting talking through Loom and through Canva presentations. So going to see where we get to. It is just coming up to 8 o'clock, just started to rain. We are in July, believe it or not, so yeah, not ideal. However, this is my last week in the UK before heading off to Barcelona a week today. Literally a week today I'll be on the plane, so it can rain all it wants then. But I'm gonna bring the camera along, see how 15k goes, get some brekkie after at a spot that is pretty decent and go from there. I've taken the sunglasses off. I'm not going to need them because the weather is horrendous, but we're one man down. There's just the 2 of us, me and Will, who is coming off the back of his first ultra in Switzerland and is jumping on to this next ultra that we are both doing. So he's going to drive, I'm going to get there. We've got 15k, nice easy pace, nothing too extreme. This morning woke up, had 2 slices of rye bread with some honey, because last night I had a big bowl of oats, so I wasn't really too hungry. Black coffee, some electrolytes, and we're good to go. And I've just clocked they will not be used. So yeah, hit the road, get there, warm up, and get going. Oh, we're 7.5k in, halfway. Feeling all right, not feeling too bad. Yeah. Try and get it on camera, Will stacking it down here. Tell you what, if I'm not careful, it might be me. What have you got left on your watch? Got 2.5k. About 45. Right, that is 15k ticked off, and thankfully the weather stayed all right because it didn't rain too much, although the rain at the start was quite nice because it's very muggy. But 15k ticked off. It's actually a fair bit quicker than I thought. It was 1 hour 23, 5 minute 35 pace, 15 kilometers on the dot, so felt good. First trail run, first long run back in a while, so a few little niggles, but nothing too extreme. And the plan now is the main reason why I came was to go and get coffee and a pastry. There's a shopping centre nearby. I need to get some new running shoes, so it's going to be quite an expensive run this, but more than worth it, and we're feeling good. And then I'm going to get home, eat some more food, and not sit on my ass and watch Silverstone. It's the Nike, the Adidas shorts. Adidas shorts, Nike socks, Nike trainers, and a 247. And then there's me. I've got socks, sliders, and an oversized t-shirt. But it's well worth the coffee and the croissant, and we're going to have a look in some of these shops. Oh, we'll have a look. We'll have a look. Oh yeah. And we're back in the car. just 5 hours later. But run ticked off, pastry, coffee, bought a few bits from Asics, went into a few different outlets, just get some vests for Barcelona. I got some new shorts and looked at some new running shoes, but they didn't really have too much. So yeah, just got back now in the car, going to drive home 10-15 minutes and then eat because I'm starving. So I'm going to do my pancakes, Greek yogurt, don't know, they're unreal. And then yeah, chill this afternoon, watch the Formula 1 for a little bit, which we'll see. Silverstone, hopefully it's a little bit more entertaining, because normally just watching cars go around a track is not the most exciting for me. So do that, and then this evening I'm going to just plan out next week, review the week, just get everything sort of sorted. So that's where we're at, and what I will do when I get back is break down my training week in terms of gym sessions, runs, rest day, and also talk through nutrition in a little bit more detail. Catch you in a bit. Back home, pancakes, Formula 1. Let's go. Right, it's been a couple of hours since I last picked the camera up. Sat in the very professional looking office, which is a bonus to having downstairs because I can sit here, do my work on a Sunday evening at 6 o'clock because the grind doesn't know the time. But no, today was just obviously a run, just had pancakes when I got back, which are absolutely unreal. Little nap, watched the F1, watched a bit of Wimbledon, just had a Sunday dinner, and now I'm going to go through my current training block for this run. In terms of training and the running side of things, and break it down as to when I'm going to increase the running. The gym stuff's going to stay fairly same, but I will go into it. So jump onto the laptop, which is right here. I need to get a good transition like that, and then it goes to the loom or goes to the Canva presentation. But I'm going to go onto a Canva presentation now, run through quickly what my training week's looking like, how I'm going to balance it all, and everything else. So I'll see you on the laptop. Just like that. We're on the laptop. We're going to go through my ultra marathon training program and how it is currently structured at the moment. I'm going to try and keep it short and sweet, just to, obviously, this is personal to me, but obviously it just gives a little bit more of an insight as to what you could expect if you were to do some form of ultra marathon training or just marathon training in general, to be fair. So what we've got to think about, especially with this whole, I don't like the word hybrid training, but you need to have phases within your blocks of work. So at the moment, my main block is the running. So running is top of the list. That's my priority. That's what is the most important sessions for me. The strength training is there to obviously help support my running by staying strong, by preventing injuries, and also maintaining muscle mass. So they do run hand in hand, because without the strength training, my running would suffer. And obviously, if I wasn't running, I wouldn't do very well at an ultramarathon. So that's the main aim at the moment. We've got 3 runs and 3 gym sessions per week. And each day, I will go into it a little bit more. Nutrition will slightly vary depending on sort of what plans I have for that session. So I'm just going to run through a few sessions that I'm going to be running. Pardon the pun. Full body push, full body pull. Okay, so 3 full body sessions a week. I enjoy this way of training. I think when it comes to trying to get the most bang for your buck, you're better off doing this, because if you did like a push-pull legs, great, but only everything's getting trained once a week, whereas full body push, full body pull, twice a week. Okay, and also there is a heavy focus on the lower body, posterior and anterior, mainly posterior, because obviously that's what's going to help with the running the most, keeping injury free and developing more strength and power. So full body pull, I do some mobility work before, sort of spend 10-15 minutes going through some movement. So some dead hangs, cable rotation, some plank walkouts, a few hip thrusts, and then I'll go into sort of the main sort of bulk of the session. So full body, we've got superset, weighted pull-ups and weighted dips. So 3 sets of 8 reps. We've got split squats, 3 sets of 6 to 8, so a bit more highest sort of maximal strength, more towards the 6 rep range. I will be going through. That's per leg, taking time in between each one, looking at quality of work, especially when trying to maximize strength. You don't want to rush in between. So even between each leg, I'll take probably a minute so I can really maximize the most amount of strength as possible. We then have a leg press, which we've got 3 sets of a more 8 to 12 rep range, so a bit more hypertrophy. And then we go into a seated cable row, where I use D handles just to allow a little bit more motion around the wrist, and it's not too fixed, so I can have free realm as opposed to being sort of upright and pulling with a normal cable attachment. So that's 3 sets of 10 reps, and that's superset with a dumbbell shoulder press, which is done on the bench with no back support. So I'm keeping that core braced. I'm staying nice and tall. I'm pressing in that vertical plane and then coming back down. Okay, so 2 movements, pull and a push. We can all push and pull a bit. And then finish off a little bit of a pump session, a little bit of pump, tricep push down, rope cable curl, and some side lateral raises. 3 sets, 10 to 15. I tend to just try and do that as a circuit. So I do the push downs, the curls, raises, push down, curl, raises, push down, curl, raises. Minimal rest. So that's full body, which is the first session. Full body push, again, after some mobility work and warming up, etc. One thing I'm definitely focusing on is sort of pre-session work, getting everything sort of switched on, plyometrics, isometrics, some rotation, that sort of thing. So we've got full body push, we've got leg extension and an eccentric push-up. So it's just a really controlled on the way down, and then hand release and then press back up. And you'll see obviously why, because we have a compound chest press movement later on. So I want to make sure I'm sort of fired up and switched on. The leg extensions is a 30-second hold. So I will go into the sort of a shortened range in terms of actually going to the leg extension and then hold for 30 seconds, just to get ligaments, tendons, everything nice and strong, as opposed to actual repetition. So that's almost a little bit of prep work. Box squat, 3 sets of 6 reps. So again, trying to go for total strength, staying nice and strong through the lower body. We then go into a neutral grip dumbbell press and some seated banded pull aparts, mainly for the rear delts. Keep the rear delts, my shoulders, main stabilizer, so want to make sure they're sort of fired up and working. And then the neutral grip dumbbell chest press, I just prefer a little bit more of a neutral grip, a little bit more tricep bias as well. And again, just prevention of any sort of niggles in the shoulders, etc. 3 sets of 8 to 12 with those. A kneeling landmine shoulder press, so in a sort of a split squat position, and then single arm. So it's fantastic for the hips, but also obviously that upper body strength. 3 sets, like I say, 6 reps on each side, and then 30-second side plank. So really getting those obliques fired up, because what you got to think about is with running, although it's a lot lower body, there is rotation that's going to be used. So I want my oblique strong, the landmine shoulder press, a little bit of rotation as well. So making sure all the movements are specific to the running, okay? And then we've got calf raises and some lateral raises to finish. Again, more lateral raises, more from an aesthetic standpoint. Calf raises, obviously, to train the calves through a full range of motion with a little bit of resistance. And then we have full body pull. It's quite a big session because posterior chain is a big focus at the moment. So we've got, again, after warming up, etc., we've got deadlifts, 3 sets of 6, and we're supersetting that with chin-ups. I'm taking about 45 seconds to a minute after doing the deadlifts into the chin-ups just to catch my breath. And with the chin-ups, it's a 2-second hold at the top. Okay, so again, 2 big movements. I'm having a little bit of rest in between, so it is a sort of a superset. But the deadlifts, I'm, again, trying to stay nice and strong with, taking my time with the rest after both. Then go to a line leg curl to just get a little bit more volume in the hamstrings. Again, area I'm trying to keep strong, because that's the last thing I want to be doing. Obviously, our hamstrings used for de-acceleration and largely through running as well. Lat pull down, so again, obviously a little bit more upper back focused with that, 8 to 12 reps. And then we finish off with a dumbbell bicep curl, seated, a dumbbell side crunch. So it's almost standing nice and tall with a dumbbell, and then I'll crunch down to the side, then come back. I'll go quite heavy with the dumbbell, probably like a 35 kilo, and really focus on crunching down, getting those obliques nice and short, 6 reps per side. And then it's a single leg bodyweight standing calf raise. So I'm almost standing in a running stance. So the leg that's working is obviously doing the raise, and the leg that's not working is in hip flexion. So I bring my hip up, keep the knee up as well. So I'm almost trying to replicate sort of a gait of running. So 10 reps on each side for those. So that's the strength training aspect of things, nice and briefly split. Now, the training will change with the gym. I'll find sort of what works best. When do I need to push and pull back things? Is there areas I'm maybe neglecting a little bit more? When I'm running, is there certain areas that I feel I could be a little bit stronger with? I will then obviously look back and change things and tweak it about. This is the end of week 1, and this is what I've been following. So, things will change. It's not sort of set in stone, but the theme remains the same. With the runs, nice and simple. We've got 3 runs. We've got an 8K, a 12K, and an 18K. So 38-kilometre week. Again, this will go up every week, pretty much. 8K is an easy run, nice and simple, nice and light on the feet. Nothing in too much, just trying to keep the heart rate nice and low, a bit more time on the feet. And again, that will just build up and add a little bit more volume for my running. I've put 12K threshold run. It's it's not zone 2, it's like more probably zone 3, zone 2, zone 3-ish. And this is just 12k, again, more time on the feet, a little bit higher in terms of intensity, plus it's more so because I normally run with friends on this run, so naturally they like to go a little bit quicker. So my heart rate's a little bit higher. However, again, it's just adding a little bit more intensity, and the 8k run's nice and easy anyway. So there's the midweek run on a Wednesday, and then trail run 18k. Obviously, again, trying to replicate the runs that we're doing for the event. So one event is Brighton, which has got 900 meters of elevation across 50k, which isn't too bad. But the 1-2 weeks after is 54 kilometers, and I think that's got 1500 meters of elevation. So trying to replicate walking up the hills when I need to, fueling up when I need to, running the flat, running downhill, walking, that sort of thing. So that's trying to emulate that. That's going to be the biggest run. That's probably going to get up to about 35k, I would imagine, as we edge closer to the 2 runs. So that's how they look. And then this is how a week is sort of structured at the moment. So below you'll see the calories, which I'll go through in a second. But Monday's full body, Tuesday's that recovery run, which is almost like an active rest day, because obviously I'm coming off the back of sort of a longer runner from the weekend. We then have a Wednesday 12k run, Thursday full body push, Friday full body pull, Saturday will be the longer run, Sunday completely rest. The Saturday Sunday would switch. However, when I go to Barcelona, I'll probably do my long run on the Saturday as opposed to the Sunday, because Josh, who I'm living with, he'll probably want to go out Saturday night and won't want to run on a Sunday. Whereas if we run on a Saturday together, even if he doesn't do the full distance, it's nice to run with someone. So that's where we are with that. Sunday will be a rest. Calorie wise, nice and simple. I'm going to be bumping up calories to maintenance. So 2,500 calories is my maintenance amount of calories. On the days where expenditure is higher, the days that I run, I'm going to look to consume 70% of the calories burnt back. So let's take, for example, nice and easy. On Saturday, I burn 1,000 calories doing this 18k trail run. I will then eat back around about 700 calories on top of the 2.5. So it'll be 3,200 for that day. Okay, just to take that into account, to help with recovery, to help make sure I'm getting some food back in. Okay, one thing I want to be doing also is keeping body weight at roughly where it is at the moment. So it's fluctuating between 77 and 78. I want it to be around there, just because I want to come in a little bit lighter on the feet, just so I can obviously make the running a lot more efficient and a little bit easier. So that's why that is like that. And then ultimately on the days when I'm just in the gym, maintenance amount of calories, because they're not too taxing. You know, I'll prioritize the carbohydrates before and after my workout, and the rest of the day be protein, fat. Can do that. I'm going to be in the heat for the next sort of 5-6 weeks, so that makes more than enough sense. And then Sunday, it's a day of rest, but calories are a little bit higher, just so I can fuel up a little bit more going into a new week. So that's how the weekly training looks. That is my ultramarathon preparation in a bit of a nutshell, in a little bit of a slideshow. So yeah, obviously today being a 15k run on a Sunday, going forward it will look slightly different because I've been in Barcelona. So hopefully we've enjoyed that video, a little bit of a mixture of a lifestyle stuff with the run, a little bit of education, a little bit of value, see where I'm at. And then, yeah, hopefully you can take a few bits. And if you have any questions, then just drop a message or a comment below. And I'll be more than happy to help. So that's it. If we enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a like, subscribe as always, and I'll see you on the next one.